Aloha, welcome to this week's Great British Mickey Waffle. Tonight we're looking into the newly opened island tower at Disney's Polynesian Villa and Bungalows. So from the Moana-inspired duo studios to the luxurious two-bedroom penthouse villas, we'll explore all the details of this tropical addition to Walt Disney World. So grab your favourite tiki drink, settle in, and let's embark on this island adventure together.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I
go! Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, it feels really good this week. I know we recorded a podcast a couple of days ago and I'm still buzzing from that. And I have to admit, it was the show went on a long time, that recording, but I can't wait to release this show in a couple of weeks. Well, less than that. How are you, Robin?
I'm good. Well? Yeah, not too bad. It's Lilo and Stitch release day, so I'm excited.
Did we do this on purpose?
I think this has all just been perfectly sort of. The whole scenario couldn't be any better, really, could it?
It's like it was designed for this, doesn't it?
Tropical went on.
I just wish I had more to drink than just this bottle of water.
Could do with a nice pog juice.
Oh, that sounds nice right about now.
During COVID, we got all the ingredients for pog juice and made it at home.
Yeah, we do that frequently, I have to say. We got the slushy machine and made frozen pog, and then spiked frozen pog.
I was going to say, we just add a little bit of vodka to it.
Exactly. We had it with vodka, we had it with rum, we had it with tequila. It goes with everything.
Oh, I like that. But yeah, I'm
that sounds good.
Tonight's show, especially because we're talking about a place that we're going to be staying in August.
Not that you've mentioned.
So, who's keeping score? Let us know in the comments how many times we can mention that we're staying in August. So that's 2 already.
Where are you staying, though?
Oh, the Polynesian.
The Tower.
The Tower. In the Duo Studio.
Off to the Tower.
It's one of those things. I remember when the Polynesian villas got announced that they were building this tower, and everyone went, that doesn't make any sense. Why are you doing this? It's a little bit like when they added Bay Lake Tower onto the Contemporary, or built Grand Destino Tower over at Coronado Springs. I think you see the building process.
It seemed to me like people were more against this tower than I've known for any other. Yeah. But I have to say I was never one of those people. I was always, I trust Disney. I figured it would be beautiful, and I wasn't wrong. It's stunning. So
it's gorgeous.
I think when we saw it actually being built, it just looked like a grey monstrosity, and that was was the bit that everyone was taken by surprise, purely from the building look before it had even been finished on the outside. Never mind the inside, and so that judgment actually has come back to bite a lot of people, because actually, I think what we'll find out in the show tonight is just how that transformation from a concrete block has turned into something that is actually so different, and yet so unbelievably sort of Disney-esque as well. It is a sight to behold, and I know you'll have a great time there in the summer. But Robin, you've already been and seen it as well, so
I have.
That's even better.
I didn't get to stay though, John. I just got to have a look around.
You got a feel of the
flavour.
I did, and I got to experience a new restaurant there as well, and have a cheeky cocktail. So it was worth
Can't
it.
be bad.
No, that's true. So I think before we get any further, do you think it's time that we talk about some of those things that have been happening in the news this week?
Let's go.
So, as we mentioned, for anyone who listened or watched last week, the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is coming this August, all the way through to Halloween. And the tickets were available from last week, so from last Thursday, if you're staying on site, that you can book your tickets. But from tomorrow, general public can book. So we've all had a chance to have a look at the prices.
Yeah.
Are they higher?
Is that a look at the prices or a whinge at the prices? I think there's a little bit of a,
Yeah.
a little bit of give and take on that one. I would say, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I have to admit, we looked at the prices and gone, that's not too expensive. We paid more last year, but that was because we went in October.
Yeah.
And
Whereas
this time we're going in August, it's a lot cheaper.
And I've done the opposite. I've gone, ooh, these prices in October, they look
Yeah.
quite a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if you go Halloween night, which is $229.
That's
Yeah.
That's
For 5 hours in the
so
park.
expensive, especially if you're a family of
Yeah.
4.
I think it's just expensive in general, but
Yeah.
I remember when they were about $100 each.
I remember
Even for
$79. October 2016, we paid $79 for an adult.
I remember that sort of price. I remember paying sort
And
of
around about the same price for that, as well as Mickey's, not the Christmas party as well.
yeah.
So it was like, oh, if you're going in October into November,
You
You got a
both.
ticket for each.
yeah. Where now it's
Now
difficult.
you're definitely choosing one or the other. If
Or
you're doing
not
it.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should do a show at some point of like find something what would be better value for your trip to do than going to the Halloween party. So you
Yeah.
choose the ticket for $229. If you're there at Halloween, what would
What
you
else
do?
can you
Do for $229, and you're not allowed to
Yeah.
mention buy a Dooney and Burke handbag because you can buy two.
I could buy 2 lounge flies.
Yeah, you could.
If they're at the outlet, you could probably buy 3.
Yeah, or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But there is a discount if you are annual pass holders or Disney Vacation Club members. So
Is it the usual $10
$10.
off? Yeah.
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 On certain dates. Not all
Yes.
of them, I
Yeah,
believe.
so there are
yeah.
some when you get into October, there's I think especially around the Halloween sort
Yeah.
of weekend, that's not going to be applicable. But on
Yeah.
more positive news, and keeping with Magic Kingdom, a Disney Starlight Parade float has been spotted arriving into the park.
Oh.
So this is the
Another
Tangled.
one.
So yeah, this was the Tangled one. So
Oh.
it's getting there. There's been no official announcements yet.
No.
When we know it's going to be summer.
No. Last I heard there were 2 floats there, so I'm assuming this is the 3rd float that's
I was
arrived.
going to say that's a short parade if it's only 2.
Very
Yeah,
much so,
there's
yeah.
2 floats. I mean, to be fair, I have a friend that is performing in the parade, and
Oh wow!
they're ready to go. The performers, they've had all
Oh,
their
cool.
training. They're
Waiting for
ready
everything
to
arrive.
start. They're just waiting now for all the floats and the final touches, I think. So
That's good.
it's hopefully it
Oh,
won't be much
excellent.
longer.
Yeah,
No, doesn't sound like it's going to be much longer if they're.
Yeah.
I don't know how many floats are normally in a parade.
but I'm
I've
trying to
never
think
counted.
that with Paint the Night that returned to Disneyland last week, it would be nice to have a nighttime parade on both coasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
about
for a while.
time.
Yeah, I know there's been so many rumours, and all the talk is like, John, I know I'm going to mention Spectro Magic, but we never got a chance to see it.
Yeah.
We saw Main Street Electrical Parade, and that was really good.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing something brand new, and
Yeah.
all the rumours and a lot of things are pointing to something akin to Spectrum Magic, the feeling you get, the music.
Yeah.
So
I think Walt Disney World deserves it. I think, and I think as well, you know, we've been treated to so many different nighttime parades throughout the world, and you then go to Orlando and you're left with that feeling of, you know, have they just left this to just go all on its own without any sort of parade whatsoever? So I think it's quite a nice thing to finally see the nighttime
Yeah.
parade back again.
It's long overdue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
And when did the Main Street Electrical Parade leave Magic Kingdom? We were there.
Oh.
Well, which
Oh.
time?
yeah,
Yeah.
because it would go from one coast to the other and then back, and
Yeah.
It's been
16.
2016.
I was
before
there- I was-
Wishes.
I was there
It's-
for 16.
yeah,
Yeah.
Before Wishes
Wishes
left
in
The year before- I think it was the
2017.
year before Wishes went. So
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
were very lucky to have that trip where we saw The Last Wishes and then we saw Happily Ever After.
Yeah.
So not that we
Oh,
planned it
still,
on that trip.
I
but-
still can't believe that I was there the same 2 nights and we didn't know each other then. But yeah, I
That's
was there.
amazing,
We were
isn't
there as well.
Yeah, and there's so much news out in a minute, but I want to highlight this next one to keep in with Disney, that the new custodial cast member costumes. I haven't got a picture, but they look really good. They're not plain white. They're white and I think white and green.
See, I always
nice.
said that was white and blue.
Oh no,
We're
here
gonna
we
get
go.
into that.
Which one of us is colourblind? I'm not sure.
Turquoise.
It's a bit like that.
Turquoise.
Aquamarine.
Yes.
I think it is aqua. It looks
Yeah.
like an aqua kind of
Yeah.
colour. No, they do. They look nice, and I think there's, even the cast members that I mentioned already, that they're a lot more breathable material that they're made from, and they do include sun protection as well, which again, it's thinking about particularly those who are in outdoor roles throughout the parks. It's going to help them.
And it's the stitching as well. So like sort of Disney's custodial team. I'm not sure what they had previously, whether they were just plain white. But it's
I think
quite
they were
nice.
plain white, weren't they?
I don't remember seeing any sort of logos on them, so that's really good. And out of the blue yesterday was an announcement from Formula One.
You're very happy.
Yeah.
Very announcement.
Two things I love that are coming together later this year and into next year. So on social media, they dropped a video saying that fans can look forward to immersive experiences featuring Mickey and friends integrating Formula One events. The collaboration will produce unique content combining the thrills of Formula One with Disney's storytelling. Not sure what any of this actually means, but the next one I get is merchandise. So a range of co-branded merchandise will be available, appealing to both F1 and Disney fans.
And if you're an F1 fan, there is no truth in the rumour that Lance Stroll is getting bumped from his team and replaced by Mickey Mouse because he'll do a better job.
He would do that.
Well, if Max Verstappen wants to retire, I don't know. He wants to go into Red Bull. I think there might be quite a bit of Formula One content. And they did talk about more announcements of this will happen at the Las Vegas Grand Prix later this year. Which makes sense.
I did send Ben a message, and I just said that my only thought on this is the fact that a test track is still down for refurb. You can see a few stickers actually getting plastered on the decals on the side of those cars will now have different F1 teams and things like that. You heard it first here. It's purely a rumor. Don't take me.
But also makes sense.
We should do an Imagineering section of like what other collaborations could Disney do? Because I know F1 this year did a collaboration with Lego, so where they released all like last year's cars, sort of as mini Lego sets and a few bigger models. So I'm just guessing it's something going along with that.
I mean, they could always rebrand Tomorrowland Speedway.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe they can make it not stink as well.
Yeah.
You just have hybrid cars, hybrid engines.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad Claire's not here because she would not be happy.
No, it's one. Yeah.
We'll be removing the smell from Tomorrowland.
Yeah, we'll be on a smells.
I'm down for that.
Tilt, won't we?
Yeah, so am I.
Oh, I'd love that.
Oh no, it's lovely.
Smell of petrol.
Yeah, they haven't got it in a candle yet, but
Yes,
go
they
to,
do.
I wonder why.
go to the nearest petrol station.
Think why.
The test track candle. It smells like that.
Yeah, I don't know whether that will stick around for much longer. But the other news, if anyone has been on any social media today or yesterday, tomorrow is the opening day for Epic Universe.
It is
It's finally
indeed.
here.
Has
anyone been keeping an eye on the videos that Universe have been
I
releasing?
have seen. They've been amazing.
I saw the House of Strange Dragon one, the Isle of Berg. That was really
Did you
good.
see Warwick Davis coming out for
Yes, Harry Potter.
love it. Yeah.
I tell you what, he doesn't miss much, does he?
No,
I give the lad his due. if there's something freebie on the go, he's there. It saves him being on that daft quiz program that he does in the UK.
Oh,
Tenable.
that's
Tenable,
the one.
yeah.
He hasn't been on that for a while. They changed the presenter.
Oh, did they?
a
Yeah, it's
while
quite
back
it's
to-
untenable
what's her name?
watching.
Yeah. See, I just want to quickly go back to the Formula One. I've just seen on the chat John Selfers
Yeah,
jumped in.
I think
about
you're
General
right there,
Motors
John.
and Test Track, and I have to admit Cadillac is joining Formula One next year.
So
it'll
yeah,
be,
so
maybe that's
I
something
think
to do with
I
it?
think there could be something in this, and
yeah.
and like I say, I've not had any insider information. It's just purely a made up rumor, all of my own.
Yeah.
So if it does come true, you can therefore say,
We can listen back to this. And
yeah,
say,
John said
John
that.
called
it
I
first.
said that last summer.
You said that last. We can quote it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, No, I'm so looking forward to Epic Universe. It's going to be so good to go there this summer.
looks incredible.
Someone else couldn't wait to be there. So there's pictures of Tony Baxter, famous Disney Imagineer, there today as well. So probably stealing ideas and things like that. And I just thought, do you know something? That for me is just such an amazing way in which, if you're into the engineering of a theme park,
Yeah.
you go and have a nosy at what the opposition are doing and things like that.
There's
It's just
all the
absolutely spot on.
Imagineers in Disney have already been.
Yeah.
All
This
of
is the
them
thing,
have already
and
been.
Some
At
people
least
said it
once.
earlier. I think, as we always say every week, that we always quote something from a Disney executive that talks about Epic Universe. And
Yeah.
this one this week was more of like, this is good for Florida tourism. So it's going to be good for everybody. And I have to admit, it is. It's going to be good
I
for
agree.
us. When
Yeah.
you think the more people that go there, the more Imagineers that visit other places get more ideas. And the same, I wonder how many from Universal's creative team have spent the last few years going to Disney, seeing things
Yes.
like Galaxy's
Yeah.
Edge, Pandora, and thinking, well, this is what we
Also,
could
a
do.
lot of
How do
them
we-
have come from Disney. Let's remember
Yeah.
that there's only
Yeah.
so many pool of people with that expertise.
And it
I
was-
think
was it
I
last
think
year
some
when Joe
come.
Rody made a return
Yeah.
to Imagineering and to train up the next sort of group of Imagineers.
Next generation.
Yeah.
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 Imagine if you had multiple people that were influenced by Joe Rody.
Oh, but it's
What?
only going to be a good thing, isn't it? It's only
Oh,
can only
Finally
be a
do
good
fixed the
thing.
Yeti.
Too right. also, just point out in the chat, just a welcome to Mark Jones, who did point out that once again he's joining us when Claire's not here. This seems to be a
Claire and
recurring
Mark can
kind
never
of
be
thing.
seen in the same room.
Yeah, it's kind of a recurring thing. This, and actually, I think it's a really, she's not doing it on purpose, Mark. I hasten to add. You know,
She wasn't here and then saw you join in the chat and leave.
Maybe Mark's doing it on purpose when Claire's not here.
He only switches on when Claire's not on. That's
And if
it.
anyone's, as you watch, you're probably seeing your comments appearing on the screen. But I want to say just a quick hello to everyone in the chat. So who was in first?
Colton was
Colton
in
was
first.
Colton was in.
Hi,
Colton was in dead early.
Yeah,
Absolutely, he was
he was here
earlier.
before us.
Yes,
He was.
in fact, I think it was about 8 o'clock. He was in the
8
chat.
o'clock.
Yeah, which was bizarre. Yeah, so
And I know he's looking forward to his trip to Disneyland later this year.
good.
You'll have a fab time.
Yeah.
Next in was Jane. Hi, Jane.
Yeah, Jane had a really good question as well, just asking about soundtrack for Happily Ever After, and hopefully, I think Sean's tried to answer, and I've tried to answer as well, which unfortunately just means that YouTube will be your friend, Jane. I think is probably the way I'd describe it. But yeah, we'll move on from that rather than telling people how to rip music off YouTube.
That's Disney music.
It's not a step-by-step instruction.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Hi, Heather.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Heather. Always appreciated.
Yeah.
We've
Sean's
got
here too.
Sean as well. Yeah.
Yeah, we've already said hello to Mark.
And we've got John Self as well.
John Self
Yeah.
still on there
It's always good. I like it when John joins us on a Wednesday because he'll keep us right, and I'm pretty certain he'll have already been to the place that we're discussing as well. So he's probably just waiting to chip in with his.
We're going to talk about food tonight, aren't we?
It's going to go that way, isn't it? You can see where that's going.
There's a new restaurant, so
That is
Yeah.
true. And before we get into Polynesia, I just want to say, if this is the first show you've come across, welcome. This is one of the things that we are here live every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. UK time, and you also can catch us on the replay, so anytime after the show, and also on the podcast on a Friday. If it's easy for you and you watch on YouTube, don't forget to scan the QR code at the end of the show, so that you can find everything that we do here at the Great British Mickey Waffle.
ooh, we have a QR code.
Yeah, fancy.
Yeah.
When did we get fancy?
About a year ago.
It's been ages. Ages.
Shows how much I pay attention.
And I think this is maybe worth asking the people in the chat as well, because I know that we've actually got this new feature with everyone in the chat actually being in the little box on the screen. And actually, I'm not sure how it works for guys. If you're watching or listening on your phone, whether you have it on a big TV, let us know whether you actually like it or whether you don't. Because actually, we just found a button and just press it.
I love how technical you're making this. It's a new feature we're trying out.
Sorry, a new feature. That's it. It was a new feature, and we couldn't resist pressing the button. I think that's the way to describe it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes it's easy for us to miss a lot of comments. So if we haven't mentioned anyone, just keep commenting. We'll eventually get to you.
We are trying to read them as we go.
Yeah. Oh, and talk of the devil.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's just a coincidence. They must know. But no, I think we need to talk about the reason why lots of people have tuned into this show.
Yeah.
And that is the Island Tower at Disney's Polynesian Villas and Bungalows. So, Robin, you had the chance to take a visit.
I did.
How was it?
Oh, it was incredible. Really was. I took a moment on. They have some outlook spaces, which we'll get to. I've got some photos of one of them, and I sat out there with my friend, and I just had tears in my eyes. And it sounds ridiculous, and I know I'm an emotional bunny anyway, but it was so beautiful and so peaceful, and it was so Hawaii. I just sat and had a tear down my cheek just because I was in love, and I'm absolutely gutted that I don't currently have a stay booked, unlike some people on the show today.
It's not before.
Has anyone mentioned that Ben and Becca's down there in August? Like
Number 5.
It was amazing.
And because you've also had the chance out of all of us to go to Alani and get the feeling of what it's like to be in Hawaii and that sort of Polynesian feel.
Yeah.
We've stayed at the Polynesian a couple of times before, in the DVC studios.
Yeah.
And we've never had a bad stay.
No, my first day I was a little bit disappointed there, I'll be honest, because I was expecting it to be like Hawaii. And actually, the difference is the Polynesian, the regular, the older style buildings are tiki. They're Polynesian tiki. Yep. That's the style. Whereas if you go and stay in a plush hotel in Hawaii, they feel more like the tower, the Island Tower. That's how the high end new Polynesian feel. You're not Alani doesn't feel tiki. It feels culturally Polynesian and Hawaiian. It doesn't necessarily feel tiki, like a tiki bar and lots of fire everywhere and lots of straw roofs and things. It definitely has a different feel to it, and
I love it gave you that feeling that what you wanted from the tower.
It really did. I was going expecting to think it was nice. I didn't. I think really Disney do their rooms nicely anyway. So I was going thinking, oh, this will be nice, and I was really blown away, even with my high expectations.
So the tower opened last December, which I have to admit, it feels such a long time ago.
It's not even 6 months old yet.
No,
I know we feel like we're behind the times, but it's not even
that
6
is
months
true.
old.
That is true, and I just think there's so much to it that I've seen so many videos and vlogs. Obviously, with just getting ideas. Oh, I'm just reading Sean's comment there. What was he saying about? I feel like the main Polynesian is the American version of Hawaii, like quite a caricature.
That's completely accurate. Completely accurate. That's not to say that there aren't parts of Hawaii that do lean into that, but that's completely correct, I would say.
Yeah. And I think there was a lot of controversy originally about it. I remember we've discussed it on the podcast before when it opened, that a lot of it was to do with its location. How close are you going to get to from like the monorail? It's not like they're building another monorail stop. How close is it to the main building? All of these sort of things you don't. When that was what we were looking at when it opened.
Oh yeah, I know. One of my concerns about it was that it was going to make Polynesian and the monorail and the boats more crowded.
Yeah, I suppose having not stayed there, I can't answer that. but having been there on the monorail, because that's how we got there, it felt like normal.
Yeah.
But I didn't go at the busy. We went late morning, and we went for lunch. So I wasn't at a peak time, but it felt like it normally does. And I honestly, I was expecting it to feel a lot further from reception, when really you go out past Trader Sam's, and it's not far at all. Yeah.
It's about
I was more surprised that they actually opened it when they did, because when we were there in August, the amount of building work that was left to be done was absolutely incredible. And I was thinking they're really pushing it. If they're expecting to open, before Christmas, there was so much that needed finishing off, and even on the outer parts of the hotel. And you really got. I was quite surprised when they opened when they did. But then to see now, we're now a few months down the line, and how operational it is, and just how they've actually got some of the magic into the place is just quite superb. And it's one of those that you really do need to get off the monorail and just go and have a walk around and go and explore. That's certainly on my list for the summer.
Good excuse to go and explore.
Yeah, and the Poly itself's nice to go for a beer and stuff like that. So if you're just going to go next door, you can actually have to make
lovely.
Yeah, there's loads to do and see.
Yeah. I also just noticed a comment from John, which he makes a very good point. The Polynesian is supposed to be a merging of all the Polynesian islands, not just Hawaii. And yeah, it is meant to be. Though obviously I've only got personal experience with Hawaii rather than the other Polynesian islands. But it's on my list. I keep looking at that Pacific Coast cruise by Disney. I'll keep eyeing it up.
might be on the list one day.
Oh, no. We've already got a cruise, but we don't need another one yet. But yeah, no, it's I'm looking forward to being able to experience it from someone staying there, because it is difficult. And we're there for 8 nights, so we're going to get a good feel of the place. And there are a few different room categories, as I mentioned at the beginning.
It's quite a few.
The Duo Studios, which are bigger than the Tower Studios from the Riviera. They seem to be similar size to what they've got in the Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah. They seem to have a normal sized bathroom as well, unlike the ones at the Riviera.
Yeah. Yes.
That bathroom still feels very large, I will say.
The room at Riviera was more like the bathroom was bigger than the bedroom. Yeah. It was huge. We left our luggage in the bathroom because that's where the cupboard was to put it away in. It was worth the saving of points for that one night. But yeah, I do have a picture. So it's got a Queen Murphy bed, kitchenette, balcony, and it's ideal for a couple of people.
Yeah.
So where's my picture? There it is. So that's with the bed put away. So it is a Murphy bed. But it seems ideal.
Seems like a fine size.
It is. It's got like a whole kitchen area. It's even got a dishwasher. That to the right hand side, there's even, I can't get over this, Duo Studio even has a dishwasher. It's got like a whole kitchenette area. And then it even has a table.
Plates. It's got like proper cutlery, proper cups, plates, everything that you're going to need.
I think somewhere there is a photo that I uploaded. That it's a 3-picture one, I think, Ben, and it's got you can see on the very left there. Yeah. That photo on the left is part of the Duo Studio, so it's got a table you can sit at for 2 people and have coffee or have breakfast.
So it's like they've learned from all of the previous Duo Studios. From the Riviera over to Disneyland and then to this one, and they're building them up slowly and making them more impressive each time.
I think a lot of it is probably the size of when they're building the resorts. They're actually looking like what efficiency of space. Because I know at Riviera they're quite limited on how many they have in the entire hotel because of where the Tower Studios are. They're just on the end of that part of the building. Where I think here they've been able to use the space a little bit more. Yeah.
And the other 2 photos on that one were of the 1 bedroom. I just took photos all the way around and I limited myself. I didn't upload all of them because I just took so many photos because I was blown away.
Yeah.
The details just are beautiful.
For an
But
idea
yeah,
of how large the rooms are, so the Duo Studios are about 255 square foot, where the Deluxe Studios range between 378 and 440.
and it's
So
crazy because they don't feel that much smaller. Because when you say it like that, that's nearly. I mean,
it
it's not
feels
quite
like it's
half,
half.
but
Almost.
yeah,
It's just how the configuration, I think, is of the bathroom.
yeah,
Because when you walk in, I think on the side you walk in, you've got that's where your sink and the vanity area is.
yeah,
So it's a different setup, but I think at the end of the day, it depends on how many people are staying in the room. The Duo Studios are ideal for sleeping too. That's what they're designed
Yeah.
for. So for us, it's perfect.
Yeah.
yeah. And do
Obviously-
you know what? I could stay a week in a Duo studio and not feel like I was cramped.
Yeah. We did a couple of nights at the Riviera one, and I have to admit, we said we could stay the whole trip here.
Yeah. I felt the same in Disneyland. We did 4 nights and we could have stayed longer. It was fine.
And this is where it goes back to how many times we've mentioned shows before, where you look at value, moderate, deluxe. How much do you want to spend in the room? How much do you want to spend time in the resort? Much time are you spending in the parks?
Yeah.
So for August, our trip is to relax a lot. Yes, some of that will happen in the room, but a lot of that's going to happen by the Polynesian pool, or
Yeah.
all of the pools that you've got access to.
And I mentioned before that they have relaxation areas. They have 4 in the tower, 2 facing towards the golf course and 2 facing towards the lagoon and the fireworks view. And those are such a wonderful addition. They were empty. We got to see 2. We saw one facing the golf course and one facing the lagoon. And they were empty during the day. And they're open to the elements, which is very Polynesian, with like sort of fans above you to sort of keep the air circulating. So it didn't feel hot. It was so peaceful. I would say those are the areas you're going to spend time relaxing, really comfy seats, take a drink and just exist. That's my dream. Take a drink.
There's a couple of spaces in the Riviera just off the lobby that we always
Yeah.
used to go to, where
Yeah.
we just sit out. There was like 4 chairs out there, and it was just like we just sit here. We were out of the park. I think you could just. Oh wow!
They look amazing.
I can't
That's
wait.
yeah.
That looked big compared to what I thought they were going to be.
No, I imagine so. The one on the right is the one facing the lagoon. So I imagine at firework time it'll probably be a lot busier.
Yeah.
But we just sat in those rocking chairs and just enjoyed life.
Yeah.
It was extremely peaceful. I can't tell. That's
I
where I
can just
sat
imagine
and with the
waking up in the
tear.
morning, making a coffee in the room, and
then
just
going down
going
there.
there
Yeah.
just to sit and just watch the sunrise.
Yeah.
Or
And you can
depends on what time
only
you
get
up.
that. Well, maybe watch people coming back from lunch, depending what time you get up. And it's worth noting that you can only get to those areas if you stay in the tower, because it's one of the few resorts where you have to use your magic band or app in the lifts to be able to get to your room. So unless you're escorting someone else, like you can't really use those areas, which is good.
Yeah.
They should just be for the people staying there, but
If people have spent this amount of money to
exactly.
stay at these resorts,
Exactly.
exclusive benefits. It's a bit like when the pool hopping doesn't exist anymore, because you pay for that resort for that benefit. So
Yeah.
you don't want everyone coming from other resorts to.
Yeah, exactly the same. Exactly that. So yeah. So if you're staying in a Duo studio and you don't want to sit on that little couch seat, you've got somewhere you can go, take your pastry or your piece of toast and your coffee and just sit out there.
I love that. So the other few options you've got for room types, you've got the 1-bedroom villas, which sleep 5. So which are separate bedroom, full kitchen, washer dryer, 2 baths. The
2 baths. Two baths in a 1-bedroom.
one-bedroom.
Like Kidani and Bay Lake Tower.
Okay.
So they've got a shower in the main area. When you walk in, you've got a shower and a big shower bathroom. To be honest, it was large, not a shower over bath, which is nice.
Okay.
And then in the 1-bedroom area, you've got a bath and a shower, a separate shower.
So that's sleep 5, and the normal 1-bedrooms come with the full kitchen and washer dryer. The 2-bedroom villas have the same as 2 bedrooms, but it can sleep up to 9 people.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
it's a lot of people.
I don't know if I
remember-
like enough 9 people to share a room with, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
If points are money is no object, there's also the 2-bedroom penthouse. With premium views, luxurious layout and decor, which reminds me of the grand villa we had the tour of at the Riviera,
Yeah.
which was so interesting when we did that tour that we didn't realise it was over 2 floors, but there's a doorbell,
Yeah.
and it felt really weird to like wait
Why am I going to need to ring a doorbell when I'm at a hotel?
because the room
It's that big.
is
You're
that
not
big.
near it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not sure what floor you're going to be on.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Strange.
I did see posted one of Facebook groups the other day that someone was due to be staying in a 2-bedroom at Bay Lake Tower, but their room got removed on the day they were checking in, and they
Yeah.
said like, "Oh, we're gonna have to move you to the Polynesian." It's like, "Yeah, that's fine." And it was like when they got there, they were in the penthouse villa.
Oh, wow.
It was-
dream.
I saw the
The
pictures
Wow.
and I was like, "Yes,
Yeah.
that's the dream." So, not that I'm expecting us to be upgraded in August from a duo studio, but
If anyone from
Usually
Disney's
it's only
listening,
short.
anyone who's listening from Disney at the moment, yeah, please note, Ben and Becca have made a point of advertising this repeatedly. Please do put them on the upgrade list. Otherwise, we won't hear the end of it.
To be fair, I'm happy with the duo studio.
I am too.
Yeah, I would be
And
as well.
especially,
It looks
with all those
superb.
terraced areas. Just another place to see the fireworks from. You don't,
Yeah.
because the Polynesian, even regardless of whether you're staying there or not, it's a great place to explore and watch fireworks from.
Yeah.
We've stayed there before, but also watched them from the beach, watched them from the dock. There are so many places at the Polynesian that I think you have a good view. And Robin, you've been lucky enough to stay in one of the bungalows.
I have. That was
Did
rather
you watch
nice.
the fireworks from there?
We did. We watched them both nights. We stayed for 2 nights. We watched them, just the 2 of us, the first night. We sat in the little plunge pool, watched them. The second night, the music didn't work because they have the music piped in. The music didn't work, and it was our 10th wedding anniversary, and we had
Oh, no.
friends over, and it was very sad. But we still watched them anyway.
Yeah.
I think the music came in for the finale, but that was it.
Oh no, it's one of those things. There's a lot of amenities, and because you're staying at the tower, you do get access to the amenities at the Polynesian. But they do
Yeah.
have a new pool, which is the
Yes.
Cove Pool, with a Moana themed splash area.
Yeah, it looked really cute.
It's really cute.
Yeah, it did. It
Which
was
is-
very cute.
I saw that picture not that long ago, and I've just gone like, that pool just looks amazing. I can't
Yeah.
wait. I remember the last time we stayed at the Polynesian, we spent a lot of time in the pool,
We
just relaxing and
we
getting
do like a volleyball.
getting sunburnt too.
I will say, having seen it, my favourite pool, obviously I haven't been in it, but my favourite pool will still be the one over by the DVC Villas.
The quality.
The Oasis pool, I think it's called. It's felt a bit nicer and a
Is that
bit
the one with the
calmer.
hot tub, the
Yes,
spa.
that's the one with the very
Is there?
nice hot tub.
Is it?
I
Okay.
think it is. Yeah, the one.
I'm not
the
sure
one
I've been in that hot tub, I'll be honest. I think I've only been in the
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah,
But yeah, that one still, I think, gave me a nicer vibe. It was a bit calmer. It was quite chaotic.
And I don't know whether it'll be the same here, and I don't know whether they still do or not, but they used to pipe in the music to the fireworks into that hot tub.
yep.
Did they? Oh, how
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
There's a
wow.
speaker by the hot tub.
Hey,
So
even better.
We just were watching Happily Ever After. That
No, it was Wishes.
no, it was 20. Would have been 2018.
Oh, it was Happily
Yeah,
Ever After.
Happily Ever
Then.
After.
That was Wishes.
Ah,
Yeah, Happily Ever After. I remember that.
amazing. I didn't know they did that.
But that there's
I
something.
don't know if they still do.
I
Yeah.
hope so. It will be the same Happily Ever After when we go in
It's
August.
true.
Yeah.
So some things don't change, but yeah, also in the tower you do have, if anyone wants to keep fit while on holiday, there is a gym.
I do enough walking while I'm
Yeah.
at a Disney park. I don't need to go to the gym.
Yeah, but some people might prefer a gym atmosphere.
Yeah, if they
Especially
want
in
to do
August when
weights
it-
or if they're,
And
yeah,
it-
air
do I
conditioning.
Do I want to go running in Floridian heat?
Yeah.
Do I
No.
want to go running normally? No.
Running if you're being chased. That's
That's me. Me.
You see the
think I'm
the
just
indicator on the
getting-
bus. The indicator on the bus is pulling out. That's time to.
That's
time
when
to run
no.
that.
You know what, John? Even then, no.
I'll wait for the next one.
I'll get the next one. There'll be another one in 20 minutes, apparently.
It's Disney timing, so 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Exactly.
You could be waiting 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or 40 minutes. It's still
You
20
never
minutes.
know.
But talk of amenities, there is a restaurant, so a Wailulu bar and grill. Robin, did you get a chance to experience it?
I did. I went there and had a nice margarita, and my friend Jackie had the chicken sliders, which she said were really good. I didn't have them because they're chicken thigh, and I'm not a fan. But it was a shame. They had mac salad, which is a Hawaiian dish. It wasn't quite traditional mac salad, but it was very nice. And yeah, that's my pog margarita on the left, which was absolutely incredible. It was very, very
I was
nice.
going to say, so you can have
I'm
custom drinks
gonna
there
be
as
having
well.
one of those.
Yes, it wasn't one of the standard cocktails. I mean, I would have had one of those. It was just that I was talking to the waiter about margaritas and my love of them, and he was like, "Oh, could make you a." I think at first he said it was a pineapple one, and then he came back and he said, "Oh, we haven't got just pineapple. Would pog be okay?" And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah."
Yeah.
You're at the Polynesian. It's like, yes, this should happen.
Yes. And obviously at the moment, I don't know if it's going to ever change, but they don't take reservations.
No,
So
it's just walk
it
up,
is
isn't it?
it's walk up only. If you get in the vicinity, you can get on your phone and get on the wait list. Annoyingly for me, I went on the wait list and nothing happened. We then did a tour and still it said I was still on the wait list, and it was meant to only be 10 minutes. And we could see the place was half empty. So I went to speak to them at the front desk, and they didn't know why it hadn't updated, but they got us seated pretty much straight away.
That sounds
Yeah, good.
something happened to
I was
us at
gonna say,
Nomad.
we had
Lounge.
that issue at Nomad.
We waited a couple of hours and it said, oh, we'll be waiting 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I thought, we just wandered around. It was like, oh, we better go back and have a look. It was like, still says you could be waiting 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was just, the app hadn't
Stuck
updated.
somewhere.
And
Yeah.
as soon as we got there, they said, like, we just got seated straight away pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened to us. And
Good
I'll
old
wait.
Disney
I will.
IT. Some things don't change.
I will say the staff in there, I appreciate them. They're new in their roles. And actually, our waiter came from Nomad Lounge. He used to work at Nomad Lounge. We had the best service in there. We really did. We had such nice service. Was the standout from the whole experience was the service we got. So I would go back. I didn't particularly love my food, I'll be honest. Hence why there's not a photo of it. It was all right. But I would go back there just because the service was that good that I'd give it another go.
Yeah,
And
I'm
try
just
something
gonna look
different.
through the menu, so you've got things like short rib loco moco, ahi tuna, poke bowl. I want to try the Wayfinder burger. Sounds interesting. 2 pressed patties, American cheese, onion jam, volcano sauce. I'm not sure what volcano sauce is.
Sounds spicy.
On a sweet bun served with mac salad or sweet potato fries. I like it sweet potato.
Yes,
There's
not
not many
those horrible
places.
Disney fries.
Oh,
Yeah.
horrible. Sometimes there's a need for a Disney fry, but after 2
No.
weeks of the same
Yes,
fries,
yeah,
it's like you just want something different.
yeah. It was nice. Me and my friend got mac salad and one got sweet potato fries, and we shared it. Hence why there's a bit of each on the plate.
But yeah, it seems a reasonable menu. Not there's a dessert option of a chocolate cake or a vanilla creme brulee, and Dole Whip sundae.
The Dole Whip sundae is what I had my eye on, but to be honest, we'd had enough by that point, so we didn't hang around for dessert, which was a shame, but we'd been there quite a while and looking
They
round.
do
So.
a grab and go for breakfast, from what I've seen.
Oh.
They do like a croissant cinnamon bun.
Bit of a shame they don't do a full service breakfast.
No.
That's a shame. Maybe they will over time. You never know.
I wonder whether because the tower is also close to the main building, not too far.
Yeah.
But
For
an
I
extra option's not going to hurt
I just have
anyone.
a feeling that I'll be doing the resort mug refills at
Yes.
at Captain Cook's.
Yeah. I
Is
think
there
that's
a-
fair.
Is there a refill station for the refillable mugs
Ooh.
at the tower?
I don't
Or at
I
the
don't
Ooh.
I
believe
wonder whether it might be at the tower pool.
I didn't see one at the pool, I'll be honest. I
No.
didn't see one. But that's not to say they didn't have one. I
That
didn't
might
see
be a
anything.
long way to come all the way
Yeah.
to like quite high
Yeah.
up in the tower, all the way down to. I
It's,
feel like
do you
I'm
know,
gonna be
honestly,
getting my
it's not
steps
that
in.
far. I really do believe when we stayed there and we stayed in one of the old DVC, well, not the old, but the older
Yeah.
DVC building, and we were the furthest room away.
Ah,
It took much longer to walk to reception to refill your mug than it would from from the tower.
so the refuel station is across from the pool near the elevators.
Oh, there we go. That's handy.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Don't have to walk far. That's very
Excellent.
handy. I wonder what
Yeah.
time it's open till.
What for in the evening or the?
Yeah, I wonder because sometimes they stay open pretty late, don't they?
Yeah.
But
But yeah.
it might be pool hours when the pool's open. You can do it. Maybe.
They generally are, I think, at other hotels
Yeah.
Yeah.
with pool bars.
Yeah, that's true. I think when we stayed at Boardwalk, we've looked at food options. First time we're flying into Tampa, which is a late flight. So it's trying to look at like, okay, where do we get food? And it's like if you're arriving at 10, 11 o'clock. Because a few years ago we had an issue where our flight was delayed by a few hours, and we were with a family of 9, and we were staying at Coronado Springs. By the time we got through immigration, everything got to the resort, it was 11:05.
Everything was
And
closed.
everything closed at 11, including the gift shop.
I mean, I'm gonna guess that you're gonna be getting a hire car, aren't you, from Tampa?
Yeah.
So I would stop. I honestly, it's a long, boring drive, and there's so many places to stop, and they're all signposted. Take a little detour, get something on the way. When you're done 2/3 of the trip, I would say over.
Yeah, it's like
I
an
would
hour and
stop.
20 drive, isn't it? Something like that.
I mean, it only took probably is to Disney.
Yeah.
It took me an hour to drive to my friend's house, but she's down in Champions Gate, so
Yeah.
it's very easy. It's just the I-4 the whole way. But there's so many places to stop for food. I would do that. I would.
I've been looking at like the flight. I think the timings are a little bit off because for the past few months it's been landing an hour earlier than planned. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things. I reckon we'll get there by 9 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I
So-
would think so.
And that's
My-
because it's a later flight. We're not. It's like what food we're going to get on the plane that we'll actually eat, and do we just get something at the airport when we land in Tampa?
They've got a Wendy's.
In Tampa, they've got Chick-fil-A, they've got Wendy's, they've got
Right.
P.F. Chang's, they've got Hard Rock Cafe. They've got so many options.
Maybe we should
I
get
don't know
food
what's.
before we go.
I mean, the only thing is, like, I don't know what you're like, but when I've eaten a load of food, when I'm jet lagged, all I want to do is sleep. You don't then want to do that long drive when you're exhausted.
No.
So that's why I say do 2/3 of the
Get
journey.
there, so like you can Disney's like 20 minutes away.
Yeah, have something to eat and be like, it's only a short trip now to get there.
Yeah, I remember one that reminds me of one of those when we did our second trip. It took us forever. We were on one of these transfer buses from MCO to our hotel, and I think we stopped at 4 or 5 hotels. We were one of the last ones. And then it was like, oh, we've dropped bags off. It's like, we need food. So we went to the nearest Denny's. And
He's falling asleep in my mozzarella sticks.
I was talking
We've
to you
all
while
been
having
there.
food, and Becca's like this. Good old memories of travel day. When sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to flying into Tampa, doing something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You'll see Phoebe the flamingo.
yes.
And as John's just posted in the comments, the new lanes have opened on the I-4 at Champions Gate. When I was staying there, they opened during my trip. So at the first part of my trip, it took 45 minutes to get to Disney. By the end, it was 16 minutes. That was the
Wow.
difference.
Wow.
That is the difference.
That's a game changer.
Absolutely game changer.
And it actually makes Champions Gate, again, that little bit more
Absolutely.
doable. Because I like staying at Champions Gate. It's a nice place to stay.
Yeah.
I've always said to people, Champions Gate's too far. It takes too long to get to Disney, and I would not say that now. Based on the new lanes, it'd be a lot easier. It's really eased the traffic. It's so different. I couldn't get over that it was taking 45 minutes at the beginning, the first sort of week, 5 days, and then the lane opened and it was like 16 minutes. couldn't believe it. I promise it wasn't just my driving. I didn't get that fast.
I was going to say, it's one of those things that we're looking at going from Tampa. It's like, I don't need to worry about tolls.
No, you
from
don't
the
need to worry about
airport. It
tolls.
was just
No.
one of those things that,
Yeah.
because we've amended our car hire again this week, saved a little bit more money. We've now gone down from £800 down to £460.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
good,
was
isn't it?
like when we booked beginning of April, thinking like, oh, okay, let's see what we get. And we're there for 16 nights in August. So I was thinking like, actually, that's I'm not
not that
expecting
bad,
it.
no.
I'm not expecting it to drop anymore. But
No.
you never know.
That's pretty impressive.
No.
Who's that through,
I-
Ben?
That's with Sixt direct.
Yeah.
But well, it's one of those things. We've only ever been with Hertz before, and last year we had a terrible time with Hertz. So it was like
Yeah.
Someone else.
it was one of those whatever happens, and I think you
Yeah.
never know who you book with. We originally had booked with Alamo, but the price kept going up instead of going down.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, well we'll keep it because the price has gone up, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're gonna
Yeah.
land and see what happens. And I know Robin, you had a bad
Yeah.
experience with Sixt, I think.
It was Hertz actually. It was
Oh,
Hertz,
okay.
not Six. I got it wrong. It was
Yeah.
Hertz like I had the bad experience
Yeah.
with. So, and that was in Hawaii. They had all these cars sat there, but because we booked through a third party, we couldn't have one of the cars that was sat
They were
there. They were
allocated.
allocated. So we sat at the airport for 2 hours waiting for a car to be cleaned and brought to us.
Oh,
While those cars sat there the whole time.
Just-
It was just frustrating.
Because they've been
So,
allocated.
Swap it over.
yeah.
yeah.
We had the similar, well, not something similar, but I remember on our last day of the cruise, I got an email from Hertz going like, your Tesla's here waiting for you. So we got the Disney coach back. As soon as we got there, there was nowhere to go. So we joined the queue, because it said on the thing we have to go to the desk to pick it up. So we went through that. We've done that
Yep.
before. We got ignored by 3 of their work colleagues, which didn't help. And then finally spoke to someone and said like, no, we don't have any. And I was like, but I've got this email saying that I do. And I said like, if you can't provide me a Tesla that I've paid for, I'm just going to go and get an Uber and go to the resort.
Yeah.
And magically, a Tesla appeared.
We
Yeah.
threatened we'll just cancel the reservation, and they were just
Yeah.
like, go on then.
It
You won't
was-
get your money back, is what they said.
Yeah, cheek of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But this time I tried dollar, and it was again for the same reason as you. It was so much cheaper. So I had a great experience.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you book with, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yes, there are going to be loyalty schemes with a lot of different ones, but
Get a loyalty scheme with all of them, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be fine then.
you'll be fine.
yeah, and it doesn't cost anything to join them.
No, exactly.
And that's the thing. It's not like you're going to get a discount. So it is one of those things. I'm looking forward to seeing what it is parking at Boardwalk and parking at the Polynesian.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks,
That'll
we're going to
be
have a car and
interesting.
just go with the 2 resorts we've got. Where are we going? We're just going to
What are we
park and leave
using?
the car there because we're going to be using Disney transport. Apart from when we're
Animal
going to
Kingdom.
Epic, Animal Kingdom,
Yeah, shopping.
shopping.
If you go to eat off site, any places off site,
I
there you
have
go.
to admit, we need to
We've got to
revisit
go
our
to
plan.
Kiki's.
Yeah.
Oh,
go to
definitely.
Ski.
Revisit our plan for eating off or
We do.
eating.
Yeah.
Because we had a rough plan of a few places we wanted to go, but
And then
now
we
we're
added a
just
bunch
like,
more to it, so now we need to have a sort out.
yeah.
Oh.
There's going to be a lot of places, and I know we're going 16 nights. I still don't think we'll get around to all the restaurants we want to
No.
try.
Do you know what you need to do? You need to get a list on somewhere written down, and
Hmm.
then just through each trip, just tick off a couple of new places each time,
Yeah.
and a couple
Yeah.
of your old favourites, and then you'll slowly work your way around. Not that that's what I do.
John, are you going to be eating off site a lot while you're?
Oh,
out
yeah,
there?
definitely. I think we're very much on that route as well. While you've been talking earlier, I was actually trying to do a trial booking for the Poly Tower as well.
Oh,
But I can't actually get anything for the tower through any of the websites. So maybe it's something to just bear in mind that if you're listening to this and actually looking for certainly for this August, and that's all the dates I was looking at.
I was going to say it books up very quick.
Yeah, and I think because it is DVC related, it might well be one of those places that you rent points to actually make use of the DVC part of it. And but I thought I could have given a price on it for somebody.
That's okay. And
But
once I've just looked it up now. Now you've been while you've
Yeah.
been talking about that, I've just gone onto DVC request to get
Yeah.
a rough idea of how much it is. So for 7 nights, middle of August, in a duo studio with a resort view, is $2,829.
And is that if you're renting DVC points
That's
to
if you're
stay
renting
there?
DVC points. To stay.
Okay. Well, you know what? don't think that's that bad
Yeah.
for 2 weeks
Oh,
for
it's
2
1 week.
people.
For 1 week.
1 week.
Oh, for 1 week. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But if you're comparing an equivalent resort, that if you want to stay there and save money, you could stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge for 2,300. So it's $500 difference
Yeah.
between Animal Kingdom and Polynesian.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's because it's a more expensive time of year to go, August.
Yeah.
It's,
And I think with it being DVC and being new, there'd be a lot of people wanting to try it out for the first time and actually see the magnificence of what we've been discussing tonight as well.
yeah, John's right. The tower is mostly DVC, so there's a few cash rooms available.
Yeah.
And the difficulty is because it being DVC, even when I went to book, it wasn't easy to book. There wasn't much availability, so it was.
Yeah.
We don't own it as a resort. It's not our home resort, so we were quite lucky to manage.
I'm
to get
impressed you got 8 nights, if I'm honest. I think that's quite
Yeah.
impressive.
It was nervous when we booked the first because you can only book 7 nights at once.
Yeah.
And it was like, are we going to get the last night, or are we going to have to find somewhere else for that last night?
Just
Oh,
one
trip.
night.
Just one
Right,
night.
randomly.
Wow.
Done that before.
Yeah, we've all been there.
That November 2021 trip where we didn't know until 2 weeks before we were going.
4 different hotels.
Yep. Was going to be, it was going to be 5 hotel rooms, but we managed to get it down to 4. Not that I would have changed anything at all about
No,
it. It
meant
was-
you got to go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, for anyone in the chat, would you want a chance to stay there at some point? Is it something that, is it on your list? And if so, what room choice would you go for? Would you be like us and go for the duo studio? Or would you need a bigger room?
I mean, if money was no object, we'll all be staying at the penthouse.
So
Yes.
we know we'll all be in August.
Yeah. I genuinely, if I would love to stay there, and I'd just go for a Giro Studio. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. When you think about the price difference in points, and we just go with 2 of us, we don't need a separate sofa. The amount of times we sit
just
on the
dump stuff
separate
on
sofa.
Yeah.
Simon sits on it sometimes, but I always will choose sitting on the bed with my feet up.
Yeah.
With my feet up. Which case, when we had the Disneyland Giro Studio, we pulled that sofa down the first day and it never went back up. And we just sat on it as a bed. And plus you have that little bench seat that was comfy. I did sit in it. So it's not like you have to try and eat breakfast in bed. You've got somewhere you can sit.
I've also got a balcony as well.
Yeah.
You've got the balcony seats as well if you don't want to sit on the bed. There's so many options. I don't think, if you're a couple, I don't think you need to spend the extra points on the studio, personally.
No.
There's plenty of room in the Giro Studio. I don't think you gain much by having a regular studio. Obviously, if there's more than 2 of you, you can't stay in that room. So, which one are you staying in, John?
I'd go for that penthouse bit. I've got a bit.
There's enough room for all of us to stay.
That really
There is
floats
actually
me.
enough room
It floats
for
me boat. That
All
I've
the
got to say,
wafflers in a penthouse suite.
that would be cool.
Kids have to be left behind.
We
but-
get-
That's true. Okay, so
If
we've
you
got a
get chucked out of Disney.
So, any recommendations where best to see a Tampa Bay NFL preseason game in August?
John, I think that might be one for you.
I'd need to have a look, Wayne, and actually, leave it with me, because actually I'm not sure when the preseason starts for the Bucks, because it's certainly not something that, even in all the times of going in August, we've been to the baseball, but we've never seen any of the American football, and I think it's just a little bit too early for some of the preseason stuff.
Okay.
And again, I might be wrong on that, but it's not something that we've actually. The one thing I have seen is in the stadium. We were driving back from Clearwater, and Taylor Swift the fireworks from a Taylor Swift concert had just finished.
Amazing.
So it maybe shows you that it maybe isn't quite into NFL season at that point. So I'm not sure, to be honest, but yeah, it'd be quite good though to actually go and see. I'd love to go and see NFL game. The baseball is an amazing night out. The only problem this year with the Tampa Bay Rays is the fact that it's outside. If it rains or there's a August thunderstorm, the game will be suspended and it might be postponed or whatever. So that's going to be a bit of an issue for the Rays as the season goes on. So, it really is. It's going to be one of those to just really bear in mind.
Mm.
So Wendy says that she'd stay at the Polynesian, but haven't even stayed at it itself yet.
Yeah.
So
It's a very nice resort. Yeah.
And I have to admit, I still think it's better than the Grand.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's got a completely different feel.
At the Poly than I do at the Grand.
Yeah.
Nah. I mean, do you know? No, right. If I could get a room in the tower, yeah, it is better. It is the best for me out of every DVC room I've ever seen or stayed in. Yeah, that is it for me. Those rooms are incredible. They are without a question my favorite DVC room that I've ever seen. Yeah. And that's including Disneyland, and I did love Disneyland once, but it was incredible. And honestly, it's a good job my DVC guide wasn't there, because it could have been dangerous.
Signing up.
I'll have some points here, please. No,
I was so tempted when we were in Disneyland. Yeah, I was so tempted.
I was trying to drag you out of the hotel. No. We did pick up some freebies while we were there.
Of course.
So
I was also about 2 seconds away from asking for a tour. So
yeah, the Disneyland rooms are very nice, but the Polynesian, the new tower rooms are something. They speak to me. I suppose everything's personal, isn't it? Everything we all have different tastes in life. We all have different things we like. And the new rooms at the Polynesian Tower really felt special to me. Yeah, I really like them.
A bit like John, you've mentioned quite a few times that you love the yacht club.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We all have that resort that we look back on. I know our experience at the Grand Floridian was a bit
mixed.
Yeah, we had a bit of construction that caused a few issues. Just had to happen that throughout the week we were there, it gradually got closer and closer to our room. And then it was on the day of our anniversary, they were literally outside our room making noise at like 8 o'clock in the morning. But we did get strawberries, chocolate, and some money back.
Well, that was nice. I got told you should really feed that back to member services.
I'm with you, Robin. The rooms and the design of the Poly Tower looks amazing. And I love the subtle Moana themes that have gone throughout it. And the colour scheme just looks so relaxing.
It's really peaceful.
Blues and I want to say beiges, but that's kind of
the wrong colour. Yeah, no, it is. It's kind of like a neutrals.
Neutral stone colour.
Yes,
that's the word I'm looking for.
It just looks amazing.
It feels very natural and
every video I've seen,
nature-y.
It looks that everything's been done with intent.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's reason and there's design about the entire thing. It's not just a plain building that they've just gone, oh, here we go, just put a few things in a few rooms. People will have it because it's got Disney on the title. But
yeah,
I think even Claire shared a picture, and here's a picture of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's just the detail goes through every part of the hotel.
Everything's just very clean-cut lines.
It's like
it's a modern version of the Polynesian.
Yes,
the old Polynesian.
yeah, I think so.
It fits perfectly well.
Yeah. Can I just take a step back to Wayne's question about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because again, I've been busy clicking on stuff while you've been chatting. There's actually two games in August the 9th and August the 23rd. Preseason games at home. The second one on the 23rd is against the Buffalo Bills, which actually could be quite an interesting matchup. The tickets for the side view of the field, which I think is probably like your TV view that you get normally at home. Tickets range from $236 in the expensive seats, or you can go for the cheap seats at $100 a piece, which is basically the upper part of the game. So I can sense something else cropping up for this trip as well now. And again, it's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff, so you're not actually, you won't be in full sun. It's another thing to think of in Florida, obviously in August, is if you're going to sporting things, you don't want to be in full sun for too long.
No,
otherwise you fry. But that actually seems pretty decent. I could quite fancy a bit of that. So yeah, Wayne might actually have a bit of company on that. Don't tell my missus.
So if Alison's watching, she'll tune in at some point and go like, okay, what else are we adding to the trip?
Yeah,
I'm guessing she's going to get that hotel booked that she wants to.
It probably will be. Yeah, it'll be. Yeah,
You can do that if we get to stay at the yacht club.
I know. Yeah, it's
or a day at Epic.
I know.
And
I'm very tempted to stay up tonight, just to see.
Say, are you going to stay up and watch the
I quite fancy this
grand opening?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm up for this. I can't wait. Just and not for any other reason. I just feel that it's that momentous part of actually a new theme park opening in Orlando, and I feel for me that is the nicest part of what is happening at the moment. There's just like that joy and that real expectation. And I'm pretty sure this time tomorrow there'll be a load of people complaining about wait times.
I'm sure everything breaking down.
The negativity will begin.
If you go on opening day, you're going to expect something. There's been months of previews, weeks of previews.
Yeah.
And I don't expect a lot of people that have been for previews are going again tomorrow, but you never know, they might be.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that are flying out from the UK that are specifically going for a week at Epic, a few days at Epic.
Yeah.
So because you can buy multiple single day tickets, I think the interesting thing will be what we can do.
I didn't think you could.
You can. At the original time, you could only buy one when we purchased ours last.
No, I mean if you're buying from the UK.
If you're buying a UK ticket, you can't.
Yeah.
You only get one.
But
there's nothing from stopping you buying a single. They're not specific to annual pass holders. No.
No.
Huh. I thought they were.
We just got the early bird pricing.
Yeah.
Being annual pass holders, so that means that we could, if you wanted to and had the money to, you could book every day in August. Not that we're going to. I think we're going to stick with one day.
A very expensive week, isn't it?
It would. Imagine it. It's like $140, $150 a day.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm good.
But saying that, that's about the same price as a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween ticket.
What could you spend that money on?
I can see a show coming with this. This is too good a one to resist.
The date we've actually booked for Epic Universe is a Wednesday. So you never know. We might go live on that Wednesday and say everything's closed and we're stuck in a 8-hour queue for Battle at the Ministry. But yeah, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's joined the show tonight. We did mention at the beginning of the show we did record an episode a couple of days ago. So the Great British Mickey Waffle is turning 6 years old next month. So we'll be celebrating with a jam-packed anniversary episode filled with memories, lots of laughs, a few deep dives, a few special moments and a few waving arms and hands as well. As we look ahead to take a look back at what we've been up to in the past 6 years and look forward to what we've got in store. So whether you've been with us from day one or just found us recently, we'd love for you to join everything that we do here. So you can find us on podcast. So we're available on any podcast platforms, so Apple, Spotify, Amazon, all the major platforms. Right here on YouTube. So we've got full episodes, live shows, bonus content, vlogs, pretty much a lot of random stuff. So you can follow us on social media, which is Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads. We're at GB Mickey Waffle. Or to make it really easy, you can just click on, maybe you find it, the QR code, or go to gbmickeywaffle.com and you'll find everything there. And last but not least, we also are on the DIB forum where we originated. We have a dedicated thread, so if you go on the dib.co.uk, click on forums, go straight to the bottom.
We're right at the bottom.
Yeah. On the naughty step.
Yeah, on the naughty step. And you'll find us there. So I can't believe that we've spent over an hour talking about Polynesian.
Yeah.
I could have spent an hour
detours along the
more,
way.
honestly.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a whole 8 days of it in August.
Yep.
Where are you staying
Are you staying there, Ben?
I think we are, aren't we?
I think so.
So that brings us to the end of this week's show. So whether you're dreaming of staying in a duo studio like us, or picturing yourself like John in the penthouse with a firework view,
Definitely.
the Island Tower is certainly making waves at Walt Disney World. So huge thank you to everybody, and until next time, we'll see you soon.
See you
See you real soon.
Now my wheels